So, my precious wife Debbie and I are in the Simpich Gallery preparing to decorate our 2019 Simpich Showcase Christmas tree. And this is something that we've been doing for a number of years, and we love to use Simpich dolls on the tree. And it's going to take all evening to do it. We've got everything ready to go and are hoping that we can complete it by maybe 11 or 12 midnight, so that it'll be ready to go tomorrow. And you know, it's interesting, I've always loved decorating Christmas trees, but during the late 1980s and early 90s, I approached it very traditionally. You know, just I had this basic tree I put up with fruit and lights and ribbon, and I basically did it every year. But one year, when Debbie and I were living in Cheyenne Canyon, this early 90s, I think I was doing a Christmas Carol, performing the marionette show at the Broadmoor, and my parents got a call that the Fine Arts Center here in Colorado Springs wanted a Simpich doll Christmas tree for their gallery of trees at the Art Center. And Mother and Dad asked us to go down and decorate that. And so I think it must have been late November. We went down with a set of the Simpich nativity pieces and thought we would do, I didn't know exactly how I was going to do it, but we thought we would do a nativity Christmas tree for this festival. And we went into the Art Center and found our tree. And they had a number of trees spread out throughout the galleries, and some of them were already decorated. And I remember we had to find one that wasn't decorated. And it's interesting, it was right outside a contemporary gallery, and it had some interesting sculptures of kind of plastic baby dolls strapped to cornflake boxes with barbed wire, that kind of thing, you know. So it was very very contemporary, and we thought, well, is this going to work here? But we rolled up our sleeves and did the very first Simpich doll Christmas tree, and I think it was an epiphany for me, because all this opened up to me, that a tree could be so much more than just how I had approached it for all those years. And I wired Mary and Joseph and the baby and the wise men and the shepherds to the tree, and we added hay and lights, and I added ivy, and it ended up just being very special, and we thought it was an interesting contrast to a lot that was going around us in that gallery. And as I recall, didn't we go home? And just like the next few days, I did one at home.
Yes.
Santa trees, and we were thinking what we wanted to do for the gallery this year. And I decided I'd like to do a caroler tree inspired by some old sheet music. And interestingly, we couldn't find the sheet music we wanted, but Debbie reminded me that we had this old songbook that belonged to my parents. And inside is the illustration that actually inspired the very first Simpich carolers in 1952. They looked at this illustration, and they just got all kinds of ideas how to do their own character dolls. And so we decided to use this old book as kind of the catalyst for how we would approach this Simpich tree with carolers. And I plan to put carolers all over the tree, but we're going to have Debbie photocopy various carols out of this book. Maybe we'll reduce some of them and have them as sort of backdrops for the different groups of carolers that we're going to have on the tree. So that's our project for the evening. And so we're planning on getting busy very soon. Get started. I wanted to mention my dust mask here. We're not working with anything toxic except for dust. I'm getting ready to do our nativity show, and one of the things I need is my voice. And anytime I work with just household dust that could be on ornaments or something, I sometimes have problems. So I always wear a dust mask when I'm decorating. So that's the deal with that. And we also have our mascots with us this evening. This is Miss Susie and Remy. They're our Yorkshire Terriers, and they are usually helping us out down here. So hopefully they'll cooperate for the evening. So we're going to get started. Joy to the world, let's do it at 85%.
Okay.
See what that's like.
All right.
You can see that I have a lot of limbs lying around the edges because I did trim this tree down some so that what I'm working on now would show better, because I like to put on a core of lights so that the center of the tree is a source of light, and I find that that works really well with the dolls, to kind of have that light behind them as well as around them. And here we're beginning to work on the platforms. Now that's probably the biggest part of what we have to do, is work out the platforms for the dolls to be standing on. And this is the centerpiece of the tree. I'm putting most of a caroler set there, and that has to be very carefully wired with green wire, and that will support the dolls. Now I don't just do that, I also attach what I call sticky dots to the bases of the dolls. They're little dots that you can use to make gift baskets. And I'm careful not to put them on an old doll where the sticker is a piece of paper, but I place those stickers on the bottom of their stands, and that holds them in place so that they won't fall. Here you can see me wiring another platform into place, carefully working out that, and then get those sticky dots on as soon as possible so that they don't topple off. So I have to discipline myself when I'm doing a tree like this, not to get ahead of myself. I have to kind of build it from the core up, and meaning from, as far as the foundation of the design out to all the little details, which it's hard for me not to kind of jump into that sometimes when I'm working on it. But right now the foundation is the platforms. Yeah, not sure what they think about this. So the platforms are in place, and now I'm beginning to add the snow, and so that's the next step. And I put it over the doll and around. It's kind of batting that you can find to for quilts, and I begin to get that in place. And you can see the music is also being put in place. Debbie's carefully printing these off various sizes, and I'm actually hot gluing those into place around the different carolers. Bows are starting up now. Again, that's a little more the icing on the cake. I've had to concentrate on the foundation, and then the snow is in place on the platforms and the bows, and trying to work all over the tree, not get bogged down with like just one section, because I want to build the whole thing out. I do wish that I could work as fast as I look in this video. It's kind of mind-bending. So here is our 2019 Simpich Showcase Christmas tree completed. It took about 7 hours. So last night about midnight is when we finished up. I have to say that over the years that we've been doing themed trees, and I think it's, how many years?
About 27.
27 years. We've been doing Simpich dolls on trees and lots of things on trees during those years. Sometimes maybe three trees for one season. I have learned some tricks to make the whole process more efficient in putting them up. But it's still a labor of love for me, whether it takes a long time or not, because these Simpich dolls just celebrate Christmas for me and for us in a very special way. And I heard just this week that Christmas is a rehearsal for our greatest hope. And I think I've always believed that, but I liked it put that way because I'm always rehearsing Christmas. And I think the Simpich dolls do that too. They do it so well. They do it in July when they're packed away in a box or stored in the closet. They're still rehearsing Christmas. And that's what decorating and the whole season is for us, because Christ's coming is a cause for great celebration, and we would like this tree to do just that.